Okay, so let's go ahead and get back into our coverage over Mark Waid's Fantastic Four. Now, here's the thing, because I feel like with Mark Waid's run on Fantastic Four, it's really up there in the top three runs of all time for the Fantastic Four. And for me personally, kind of like Jonathan Hickman or John Byrne. And also, I feel like when it comes to Mark Waid's run on Fantastic Four, it really did bring back that love into the team because before him, they seemed kind of lost. Now, it's not me saying like all the writers before him and after Burns were just completely horrible. No, I'm not saying that. But it did seem like the love for the team was lost. And then Mark Waid was able to bring that love back into the team. Now, when it came to the first two issues of his run, they were just one shots to kind of give you that feel of what his run was truly going to be about. Now, we already covered the first one shot, but now it's time for us to cover the second one shot. And so we get into issue number 61. And when we do, we pick up with Ben Grimm. Now, this is Ben Grimm opening up a package that was delivered for him. Except when he does open up the package, unfortunately, he gets pied in the face. Like literally, the pie just shoots right out of the box and gets Ben Grimm right in the face. And so for Ben, he is very upset. But before we're able to learn what exactly is going down with Ben Grimm, we jump over to Susan and Reed Richards. Now you have the two characters talking about how Johnny Storm is still very immature for his age. And apparently Susan has a plan to kind of fix that. The problem is Reed does not know if her plan can actually work because if the plan fails, it could change a lot of things for the team or possibly get rid of the Fantastic Four. Now, we are not told what that plan is until the very end of this storyline. But while you have the two characters talking to one another, you then have Ben Grimm walk into the room to express how angry he is because he just got pied in the face by the Yancey Street Gang. And so it's him wondering why in the world they keep messing with him. Now for Johnny, he finds this funny, but then in the package, you have Ben Grimm find this slip of paper. And apparently it tells Ben where the package came from. And then for Ben, he's all like, this is great because then I can go over to that business, figure out who had ordered that package to be sent to me so that I get pied in the face. But right after you have Ben Grimm leave, we kind of find out that it was Johnny Storm who had asked the company to make that package and then have it delivered over to Ben Grimm. And also it was him pretending to be the Yancey Street Gang. And so right now it's Johnny saying, okay, I have to leave right now and stop Ben Grimm before he possibly hurts somebody who is completely innocent. Now, before you have Johnny leave, you have Susan realize what is going on. That in reality, it was Johnny who kept pulling these pranks on Ben Grimm the entire time. And apparently, there were a lot of packages that had been delivered to the home. And so it's her again seeing another sign of Johnny Storm just being immature for his age. But he does leave to hopefully stop Ben Grimm before Ben could possibly hurt somebody. Now, for Johnny Storm at first, it's not really him trying to tell Ben Grimm like, hey, Ben, it was me the entire time. I'm sorry. It's really more just Johnny trying to calm down Ben and hoping that Ben will go back home to the Baxter building before he goes over to that business and possibly hurt somebody. But Ben Grimm does not care. Like, this is a man who is truly angry at the moment. So when you have Johnny fly by him, he sends Johnny flying into a nearby business. And so it really shows that, yeah, no, Ben Grimm right now is on a mission. And that mission right now is to find that business and handle some business with that company. But right after you have Johnny being able to get back on his feet and go over to Ben Grimm, you have Ben explain things to Johnny. Like, you don't understand why I'm so upset because to Johnny, he feels like Ben had officially moved on from the idea of looking like a monster. But it's Ben saying, no, you don't understand because every single time I get up and look in the mirror, I remember what I am now. I am basically a monster. There's no way for me to go back to look normal right now. And some days I am able to get over it, but there are some days out there where it really does bother me. And there are some days I'd rather be killed, be dead, because I hate the way I look. And so it's kind of like a wake up call for Johnny, like, dude, you have been doing these pranks for way too long. It's about time for you to stop. But for a brief moment, we have to jump over to Reed Richards. And the reason why, because this is Mark Waid trying to build up to what's to come down the road in later story arcs in his run. Because right now you have Reed in his lab. Now he does realize the power is going out, but he has a backup for the power. But then he realized that in the possibility that his children might be in danger. And so he runs over to their room. And honestly, he was right. When he walks into the room, it's like a whole nightmare. Like he walked into some kind of nightmare. It gets very, very creepy. But then once he's able to kind of snap out of it, everything goes back to normal. But for Reed, he has no idea what in the world just happened there. But getting back over to Johnny and Ben Grimm is just the same thing happening over and over again, where you have Johnny just trying his best to find different ways to stop Ben Grimm, but Ben cannot be stopped. Now, once you have Ben arrive at the location of the business that has sent the package, there's nothing there. It's kind of like they went out of business or the property is just completely gone. And for Johnny, he has no idea what happened to the company or really the building entirely. But for Ben Grimm, it's kind of like, well, I can't do anything because it's not here. And so you have Ben Grimm leave. Now for Johnny, he feels like this is great. Like once again, he was able to get away with something. But as you have Johnny fly away, he's then called out by Susan. And so that explains why the building's no longer there, because she made it go invisible. And so once she does make it reappear and she walks outside, is her saying enough is enough. It's time for me to finally teach you a lesson. And so you have the two go back home. And when they do, it's really more her having Johnny change out of his uniform into a brand new suit. So yes, it is Johnny Storm getting a job, but it's a different kind of job that you would not think she'll give Johnny right off the bat, but she is going to. And so we kind of find out that Susan Storm is going to make Johnny Storm be the the chief financial officer for the Fantastic Four Incorporated. This man is now going to be in charge of all of the money the Fantastic Four have. And so right now is her saying, if you blow it, there goes all our money and there goes the Fantastic Four. That is why earlier you had Reed saying like, if this plan fails, that's it for us because he'll be in charge of all of our money. But for her, this is a great game plan to make him be more mature as a person. But either way, this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see you on the next comic book video.